Hello everyone, welcome to our session labeled the Coding K 101 by AstroLabs Academy and AstroLabs Talent. Shortly, I'll just a small brief intro about AstroLabs. AstroLabs' mission is to drive the MENA region's growth into a world-class digital and entrepreneurial ecosystem. We care about individuals and people who are looking to upskill and learn and get into the digital and tech field. And we do our best to help them in this growth and this journey. We do this using different business lines. We have the Open Academy for courses such as digital marketing, coding, data science, SEO. We have a corporate training for customized training programs for corporations. We have a talent team for recruitment and acquisition. And we also have licensing and co-working space both here in Dubai and in Riyadh, KSA. Briefly about us, the instructors for today. My name is Amr Shahar. I am the Academy Learning Consultant. I actually have a degree in computer engineering from the American University of Sharjah. My passion is the intersection between tech and business. I'm trying to combine both. That's why I'm also currently pursuing a master's in IT management at the University of Wollongong in Dubai. I'll leave Aris to introduce herself.
Yeah, so I'm Aris, and I don't look like my photo anymore, unfortunately. So I'm a certified human resources management professional, and I've had like 7 to 8 years of recruitment experience in the Middle East, Philippines, and companies in Australia. So I mean this, okay? I find satisfaction in lending a hand to professionals and contributing to the growth of organizations. So I really want to help people, and if I can do it through recruitment, then why not? So that's what I'm doing right now.
Great, thank you, Aris. To get maximum benefit of the session, guys, feel free to ask many questions. You can ask as many questions as you want. Speak up if anything is not clear while we're presenting. If something wasn't clear, do let us know. And feel free to interrupt us. It's fine. It's a friendly session. We're here to have a conversation and discussion. So the agenda for today, we will be covering what exactly is coding and where to start, how to get hired in tech, and when you think you missed a boat, how to be prepared for freelance or work as a full-time. 3 questions that you must ask yourself before signing up for a bootcamp. Must-know tips for actually learning to code, and the best strategies for getting into tech, even if you're a beginner. I put this question here and I put it also in the description. It's because it's one of the most common questions that I usually get, which is I want to get hired in tech. Is that possible even if I learn to code now? And hopefully in this session, we will help you answer this question. Simple answer is yes, but there are some rules for it, I would say. I'll start with the first thing, which is what is coding? So everyone hears the word coding, computer programming. What is it actually? Coding basically, or computer programming based on Wikipedia, is the process of designing and building an executable computer program to accomplish a specific computing result or to perform a specific task. This is the official definition, but if we're gonna say it in simple terms, coding is a separate language, so just like how we speak English, Arabic, Urdu, Hindi, all those languages. Coding has their own languages, and it's how you communicate with the device, with the computer or the laptop. It's you are writing words in the language of the computer for it to understand what you want them to do, and you write them in a way to do specific tasks that will give you the outcome you're looking for. I will give you a very, very, very simple example of coding for people who have never seen coding before. I think you guys can see my screen now. So here you can see there are two sides of the screen. The left side is where programmers usually write their code, and the right side is the screen that the customers or the people that using the device would see. A very simple example of coding, I'm using a language called Python, which is one of the most common ones, and it's the easiest one of the easiest one to learn. So if I say something like print, welcome to AstroLabs. So this is the code that I wrote, and if I run it, which when I run it means it's happening continuously, for example, I run it and it shows welcome to AstroLabs to the customer. Coding can do so many things, can do math. If I say print means show it on the screen. 1 plus 1, it will show you 2. If I can do assignment, x equals 10, I can do y equals 20, and then z equals x times 20, or x times y, and then I put print z and I run it, it will give you 200. It took the value that's stored in x, took the value that's stored in y, and then we got the multiplication. This is a very simple code, but this is what coding is. You're basically asking the machine to do stuff for you, and you communicate with the machine with their own language. Going back to the slides. So yeah, this is what coding is. Now in coding, there are so many different fields that fall under the term coding. The most common ones are the ones that we usually hear a lot in this region are software development, web and app development, game development, machine learning and data science, and there are many, many, many more. There is databases, there is embedded systems. There's so many different fields of coding. Software development usually handles the things, the big software, such as the operating system that you use. Operating system is an Android, the Android system on your mobile, the iOS on your iPhone, Windows. Those big, huge scale softwares fall under the software development part. Web and app development is very straightforward for websites and applications. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all those applications, they fall under the web and app development. Two main sectors for it also are front end, back end. Front end is what the customer sees. So when you open the Facebook page, it's the feed, the photos, the like button, those are the front end. The back end is the functionalities and what happens behind the screen. Of that, when you clicked liked, it showed to the other person notification that there's a like. That process of you taking the like and showing it to the second person, that's backend. Game development is, of course, gaming industry. It's a huge industry, and there's so many great things that are done in game development. And of course, the buzzword now, and I think everyone's talking about machine learning and data science. This also under this field alone, there's like tons of other fields that fall under machine learning and data science. I just put some of the most common coding languages that people know. You have C++, the logo, which is in blue. Some people label it as the mother of all languages because it's one of the first languages, plus it's the basis for many other languages that were built on C++. You have Java. C++ and Java are mainly used for software development, for big scale software. This logo, the one that's in blue and yellow, is Python, and the yellow one is JavaScript. Those two are called the general purpose languages. The reason for that, and the meaning of that, is as those languages, they cover more than one field. So you can use Python and JavaScript for game development, for web app development, for data science, for software development, for so many other things. And they're super easy to learn and super easy to use compared to other languages. And there's also Node.js, which is built on JavaScript, which focuses mainly on backend. And of course, there's NoSQL and SQL for databases. There's more than 10,000 languages out there. I would say there's around 50 that are the most common ones. Now, the question is that people usually ask themselves is like where to start in the journey of coding. I would say those three questions are very important to ask yourself before you start or decide to learn coding. First question is, what is your goal? Second one is, what is your background? And then, what do you like? What do I mean by those questions? What is your goal helps you a lot knowing if you should start coding or not, and if yes, which field of coding should you get into? If your goal is to become a software engineer, then you should learn, for example, C++ and Java, plus other stuff as well. If your goal is to simply automate a task that you do every day at work, you don't have to go in depth in C++, you can simply just learn Python or JavaScript and do this automation. So defining your goal should help you know how to start. What is your background? This mainly helps when it comes to stuff like, for example, data science. Data science, because it's easy to learn it, but your background helps a lot in knowing where to put your focus on. Because your background helps you shape this learning journey. If let's say you work in finance and you tell me you want to start learning coding, I will immediately tell you, okay, since you have a background in finance, I personally would recommend that you learn about Python because it will help you build some machine learning models, and that will help you do fraud detection, analysis, stock analysis, predictions. That's an example. So knowing your background helps a lot in shaping this learning journey. The third question is, what do you like? I would say this is a very tough question to know because you have to practice something before you actually know if you like it or not. But there's always some indicators that will tell you if what journey you should follow. Personally, I'm a person who is obsessed about data. I love numbers. I love analysis. I love pie charts. I love pivot tables. I just enjoy that. So I know for a fact that I focus a lot on data science. If a person doesn't care about data at all, they should definitely not go into the machine learning field. So those three questions people need to ask themselves, and Googling stuff won't be enough. Usually, I would say in this stage, it's always good to talk to people, to people who are in the field, friends, family, someone you know who's working in this field, and after asking yourself those questions and knowing the answers, discuss it with someone who's experienced and can give you some insights as well. After that, after you answered those three questions and you know that you want to start learning, the answer would be for the first question was like, how to start is learn and practice, and it's never too late. Something people are worried about usually is that it's too late for them, or someone else already learned coding 10 years ago, or this person had a CS degree from 1999 or whatever. This doesn't matter. The coding world is evolving every single minute, not even every single day. Every single minute it's changing. And there's always a room for new things, and you can always learn new stuff. And you can always be better than other people if you start practicing and putting effort in it. Now the question is where to learn. This is a tough question because it depends a lot on the personal preference. I would say there are two main sources. The first one is online, second one is offline. For online, there are so many good resources such as Coursera, EDX, Code Academy, Khan Academy, Udacity. A lot of those are also free. Those have a lot of material that will help you learn coding. Offline is usually there are coding bootcamps or coding courses that will help you also have a structured live course. So it has a lot of personal preference. If someone were to ask me, I would say it's always better to start with an instructor or with someone who can give you guidance and mentorship to help you learn easier and shape this path with you and do the right steps. I personally, someone who I have around now 7 years of coding. And I want to learn a new languages. A new language. I wouldn't take an offline course. I would immediately take an online course because I already have the basis and the fundamentals. But for that part, I had to go to university, and a professor that I had a relationship with, and he helped me a lot personally to learn and understand those fundamentals in coding. So having this mentorship is really important, I would say, in the early stage. So you define your goals, you know what language to start, you learn that language. What's next? This is for based on what I've seen so far. I would say the first thing you should start with is working on personal projects, working on 9 to 5 work projects, and working on projects for friends and families. Those projects are not stuff that you have to do, are not stuff that people ask you to do. Those should be from your own passion or interest in coding. You should start building those projects. For example, you know a friend who opened up their restaurant, offer them to like build a website for them. It will give them a nice website, I would suggest you can charge them for it if you want, and you will also gain some experience. Working on non-9 to 5 work projects means like projects that can help you at your work, but they're not actually within your job description. This will give you exposure and will give you experience to what is coding. The next step after like working on those projects is, I would say, applying for internships or freelance projects. Internships will help you get the exposure to how it happens in real life, and freelance projects gives you the flexibility to do real life projects, but without the constraints of companies. You can do them the way you want to do. Of course, there's the requirements from clients usually, but you can always do it the way you'd love to do it. The step after that is finally applying for full-time jobs. Now, this journey, why I put it this way, is because during each stage of this journey, you are building your portfolio. By building your portfolio, you are building experience, you are gaining experience, you are building different projects, so you can learning new skills. And of course, Aris will speak more about this. In the tech world, portfolios are a very, very, very important part. I would say they're one of the most important things that tech people should have. So personally, I would suggest following this path. That will help you a lot in building the portfolio without struggling to find a job immediately. That's it from my side. I will leave it for Aris now. Aris, if you can share your screen.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. Give me a moment, guys. Hi, everyone. Okay, I'll start sharing with you. Present. So let me know, guys, once you are seeing my screen. It's supposed to show the challenge.
Yeah, we can see it, yes.
Cool. So for those who came in a bit late, just to reintroduce myself, I'm Aris. I'm part of AstroLabs on the talent side of our business. And what we do is we hire top talents like yourselves here to high growth tech companies here in the region. And some of our clients would include Brand Rippler, TikTok, MomoPay, Rain, Sierra Group, Virgin Mobile, Kareem, and Namshi, if you know some of these names. I'm sure because like some of them are like really big ones here in the region. So yeah, and so that's a bit about us. Now I'm here to, add a bit of hopefully add a bit of value into what Amr has actually presented with you guys earlier, especially if you guys are planning to venture into your coding careers. May it be like the first time that you're planning to do so as a beginner, or if you're shifting careers, or even if you've already been in the field for quite some time. So what's going to be next, right? Cool. So I want to have an understanding though of like what you guys have or like the background that you have before we move on, so I could like tailor it. So we've got Randy, Renee, Rajiv, and Abby. So maybe you guys can tell me what you're currently doing, or where you're currently at right now, and then where you want to be. Come on, guys, you can unmute yourselves. I don't bite.
Abby said digital marketing in Dubai.
Digital marketing in Dubai. Sorry, I'm not able to see like messages, but actually let me check the chat. Okay, Abby says digital marketing in Dubai. And then for Rajiv, I saw your message too. For Abby, you're working in a trading company as a digital marketing practitioner. Is that right? Or is digital marketing your goal? Hello, Abby.
Guys, again, if you want to open your mic, it's totally fine. Like
Yeah,
you can open your mic and just chat with us if you want.
So that'll be easier.
We're here to help you.
Yep. So I'm not hearing a response from Abby. I'll go to
Sorry,
Rajiv.
I couldn't hear you. Could you please repeat the question?
Oh yeah, because I saw your message. It says digital marketing in Dubai, working in a trading company. So do you mean like you're a digital marketing professional, or are you wanting to move into digital marketing?
No, I'm a self-taught digital marketer. So
okay. Impressive.
The company which I'm working in, it didn't have any digital activities. So I was just I actually came here to visit my cousin. So she told that, why don't you try something here? So I was just doing this digital. I was actually doing theater and acting in my hometown in India. But then I thought, okay, why not? I used to do this digital marketing side for friends and all. So I thought, why not try here? Then I tried this company, and they told me to, we don't have a team here, and you won't have any seniors to guide you and all. So you will have to do everything on your own. So I just gave them a small intro about what can be done for the company and how to build a brand and all. So they were like, okay, and they told, okay, let's come join our team, and that's how I started working here.
Yeah, and then your next goal is like to
actually
be in
now
coding or in digital.
Yeah, actually now I'm like starting off in a trading company. I want to go into a digital agency, and have little knowledge about coding, and I want to go into AR marketing also, AR advertisement.
Hey, I'm sorry, marketing. AR.
AR based advertisement.
What is
nowadays,
AR?
I mean, if you
artificial reality.
Yeah, it's artificial reality. Like we know VR.
Oh, okay.
So nowadays, Facebook has released a new software platform where we can create our own filters, and with those filters, people are engaging with their customers and all those things.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's why you're trying to venture into like coding and see how it would probably, like help you and see if you can have like opportunities along with your digital marketing background, which is actually, I feel like it's a pretty good mix. So, okay, I have your background, that's good. And then next we've got Rajiv, zero experience, you're curious. So you're curious about coding and are wanting to get into a career in it if things go well, is that right? Like if you find that you actually enjoy it and maybe moving forward be something that you find enjoyable as a profession. Is that right? Reggie, hello. Not just curious, not to venture. Okay, so you're pretty curious. All right. And then we also got Renee, school going kid just for exposure on career choices. And yeah, so this is actually the best place because the best time to finally like have an understanding of your options of opportunities would be now to see where you want to go, where your career can take you depending on the skill set that you have or the skills that you can actually gain upon taking courses, maybe the online ones or offline ones that Amar was talking about earlier. All right, cool. And Randir, how about you?
Hi, I'm an IT specialist working here in Dubai for the past 6 years. I'm just curious about Python, and I always wanted to learn. I just started my self-study, and I know a little bit basics, so I thought of giving it a try. Anyway, the market is full of software engineers everywhere, so
that's true. That's true. The market is like full of like software engineers, developers, and much more. So yeah, cool. Now that I have like a better understanding of like where you guys currently are at, I can probably like advise that this session that we're going to be running, at least the next half that I'll be running, it would be on like job hunting, career tips, because like you at some point in your lives would be like candidates looking for roles, opportunities, maybe like actively because like you feel like it's time for you to move, or it may be like passively because like you don't really apply, you're happy where you are, you're not really exploring, but someone probably would reach out to you. Recruiters like myself, we do that. We reach out to people, especially if you have amazing profiles and we see potential in you, so yeah. And now going about it, so job hunting, I want to know, like, if you've done job hunting, like recently, or maybe at the moment you're doing job hunting, maybe again, actively or passively, someone reach out to you. How is it going? Or do you know of people, do you hear stories about people finding out about their job hunt and how it is actually going? Because really, if I compare it to like how job hunting was before, it's totally different now. And I'm saying that both as a recruiter and like before when I was a job seeker myself. So I want to know from your side, or like maybe from like people who know you, people who people around you who tell you about their experiences, whether it be coding or like non-coding, of course, that's fine. So Abby says, you hate the job sites, companies just post whatever and pay less. Yikes, right? So, and we do get this a lot. Like this is a lot of like feedback that we receive from candidates to not specifically about our company, no, our clients, but yeah, this is like one of the feedback that we receive definitely, especially as this is what the market is, what's happening in the market right now. As I told you, it has changed and it has become more and more challenging. So aside from job sites, so anything else? Like how else, or what do you think is going on right now if people actually go into or venture into job hunting, career search, or like finding opportunities, whether it be actively or passively? Anyone? Okay, so jobs, 15 years of experience, age below 30, masters and masters, education, salary of a starter, current trend. Yes, oh my gosh, Rajiv. I see this a lot too. Because like as a recruiter, we need insights on our like competitors, or whether it be like clients, our clients' competitors, to find out what's going on, right? And I do see this. Unfortunately, it's happening. It's the reality that we live in. We're seeing a lot of these like trend on like the I don't know, like so some kind of idealistic expectations on people. So yeah, that's right. And context work, what's this? Context work, following dream companies and finding what they are doing and what we can contribute can also work. Actually, yeah, this is actually a pretty big thing right now when you can be like referred by someone you know inside the company, and then you can ask more details about it, and maybe even have a chat with whoever the hiring manager is or the HR. So 9 out of 10 are fake jobs, maybe CV hoarders to just spam. Yikes, again. So let's see. So this is really what's happening right now. And I'm glad I'm seeing this from your responses, because this would also help us, as recruiters, to have an understanding of what really is it like in your shoes. So that's good. This is actually pretty good. All right, cool. And let me actually tell you how it's like from our perspective, because I asked you how it's like from your perspective, right? Now, let me show you how it's like for us job hunting in the MENA, so Middle East, North Africa. The current dilemma that we have. Can anybody guess how many applications I've received within the first 24 hours just for a full stack developer or full stack engineer? 10K applications. What else? Less than 100. Okay. Anyone else want to guess? I'll be showing you the results later on. Full stack, less than 6,000, and another one is 1,500 applies. So a few thousands, 500 disappeared. That's so cool. But yeah, okay, cool. So we're looking at a range between like less than 100 to like thousands and thousands of candidates, right? Let's see. And this is just specifically for this role, right? This is an actual job ad that we've posted via LinkedIn, if I'm not mistaken, or via our job board. So we can actually see the stats here. So let's see. Ta-da! All right, so in just 24 hours, we've already received like over 1,000 of applications. Oh no, sorry, not applications, like over 1,000 views at least. So views would mean like they view the job advertisement, not necessarily clicking on it, but probably having an interest because, oh, hey, this is the job title. I'm gonna go and read the job description to see if it would be like a good fit for what I know or what skill sets I have. So yeah, and it had like 1.75 views a minute. So 0.8 applications were actually received per minute. Can you believe? So yeah, 200 applications viewed before finding the correct candidate. So can you imagine, like, that's how we go. That's actually the kind of funnel that we go through. We receive like thousands and thousands of applications only to narrow things down because we're only looking for, say, one right candidate, one good candidate, the perfect fit for the role. So that's how it goes. So that's what we are seeing as opposed to like what you guys are seeing, because for you guys, okay, here are a list of opportunities and here are the job descriptions. Here is how I can apply. Click, 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 right? Cool. So yeah, and now what else? This is, aside from this, there are other things that we also go through because, you know, as recruiters, there are a lot of things that go on in our day. So yeah, let's see. How can you stand out amongst like thousands and thousands of candidates? And take note, just in just 24 hours, that's like thousands. So what more if like the days go by, right? So how can you stand out knowing that whenever you send your application, you could actually, well, as a recruiter, I actually receive this amount of like applications or emails coming from candidates. Like in someone's inbox, it probably looks something like this, right? So here is another like job ad that we saw. This is actually a real job advertisement. Okay, so Nats Daily, pretty popular here in the region. They're looking for a full stack engineer. So this is how you will be seeing things as a candidate. See how you compare to 354 more candidates, right? So amazing. And like, how many candidates do you compare with or you fare with? But how can you actually stand out? Because there are a lot of like profiles or different candidates that actually send their applications on a daily basis, right? So yeah, so how do you think you can stand out if this is the case? This is what I see as a recruiter. Or like, you know, not even recruiters, just hiring managers that go through this because they post advertisements and they have like a lot of jobs that they want to hire for, but they're looking for the right candidate. So how do you think you can stand out? Any ideas? This is SEO optimized profile. And what do you mean by an SEO optimized profile? Varied skill set, yeah. I'm very curious about the SEO optimized profile. Like, how do you know something is like SEO optimized? Abby, do you wanna speak?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Abby.
Hi. Yeah, actually, see, this is a basic thing I'm just saying. It's not foolproof.
Yeah.
Thing is, imagine it's HR and he's just searching for keywords. Example, like in your case, you said full stack developer.
Yeah.
So my profile, there are websites where people do copywriting and all that, right? So it is all SEO optimized. So based on that, I have tried, making a profile in such a way that if I rank for that keyword.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually one good way. Great idea that you had. Not a lot of candidates do what you do or have thought of it the way that you did. But yeah, that's actually one of the ways to stand out. You have to really optimize your profile, okay? So that it doesn't look like everybody else's, even if, you know, like if we do think about it, like a tech person in this company may be doing the same thing that a tech person in another company is doing, but of course, you have to differentiate yourself from the other person so that you get the job, right? What if both of you are applying for the same role and both of you have the same, say, skill set or experience, years of experience, job title? So what can help you differentiate, right? Or how do you think you can stand out? So optimizing a profile is actually one way, really, really good. All right. Okay, and other things would be here, we can directly approach the hiring manager, recruiter, or even talent acquisition professional. So whoever is connected to the company, but like, you know, like if you are part of the hiring team, like, because if you're looking for or rather if you're applying for like a tech position, of course you target tech people in that company. You connect with them, be on their radar, be part of their, you know, LinkedIn connections, connect with them, send them a message, say hello, hi, how are you? Do not shove your CVs to their faces. Okay, that's not the way to go. That is hard selling, right? And that never really works. Can you imagine if you, I think the best way to analyze it is like if you visit malls, right, there are people who are selling perfumes who actually spray the bottle on your face, and you go like, no. So you try avoiding the area where they're actually going to do that, because it's going to be awkward. So it's something like that with, like connections. So yeah, don't go into like, hey, hi, I'm looking for a job. Here's my CV, because it's going to be that way. Take time to actually build relationships. So yeah. So here in specifically for the full stack engineer position, you're gonna have to look for whoever is hiring at NAS Daily for this specific position, whether it be like the HR person, recruiter, again, like hiring manager, or other tech people, senior people who can be decision makers. So go for them. In this case, it's Jasmine. She's hiring the finest talent at NAS Daily. So actually the best way to, go for this is like connect with her, like send a message, say hello. And yeah, so that'll be one way. Okay. Oh, I saw your feedback. Thank you so much. Okay, so connect free way to message. So your invitation is almost on its way. And you can add like a personal note, you could go like, hey, I wanted to connect with you because like I found your blah, blah, blah interesting, maybe your company, blah, 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 and I wanted to see how we can work together and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, in-mail though are sometimes paid depending on the profile. So like sometimes you really have to wait for them to accept your connection request before you are able to message them. If you don't want to wait, there are other ways. Okay, so I'm gonna type a secret thing here. So if you want to really reach out to them, and sometimes LinkedIn would ask for their email addresses, right? And of course you don't know that. You could go like, yep, stalking the company, yes, but do that professionally. So you can go to their company website and find like the domain. Do you call it a domain name? Like blah, blah, blah at blah, 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 blah.com. So like Aries at astrolabs.com. So you could just replace the name with, the name with something, and then at astrolabs.com. So it's something like that, right? So yeah, so that's one way. Another way is, I don't know if you guys have heard of Rocket Reach. Okay, so Rocket Reach is actually like a tool that we can use. So if you have it installed on your or like as an add-on, if I'm not mistaken, on your Google Chrome or like browser, just go to any specific LinkedIn profile that you want, and then click on get email. You would be getting their email addresses. So there's kind of an algorithm going going all over that. So yeah, that's cool. Although it may not always be accurate, but at least it gives you more and more of a chance in reaching out to the people that you actually want to help you land your dream job, or at least your dream company, right? Extension, there we go. Thank you so much, Abby. Yeah, so there. And then remember earlier you mentioned this, optimizing your profile. So whether it be two things, because it's like two ways to like optimize things, right? So, I mean, two things that you should be optimizing. One would be your LinkedIn profile. So really make sure that you optimize it, especially in the region. It's super duper useful and being used by recruiters and hiring managers. After all, it's like, a social network, it's a community, it's the way to brand yourselves without even having to look at your CV. That's you, okay? That's how you put yourself out there. So optimize it. So as a recruiter, I'll show you how I see things. You guys know LinkedIn, right? So yeah, as a candidate, or even like, even if you're not applying, you have a LinkedIn profile and you can actually see like what goes on there. So here is what we call LinkedIn Recruiter. It is a secret of us recruiters. So we're the only ones who see this if we have like an account here. So with the LinkedIn Recruiter, we have filters. I think earlier one of you mentioned like filters, keywords or something. That's actually very true and useful. So in this case, we filter job titles. If I'm looking for a full stack engineer, I'm gonna type full stack engineer, okay? Keywords that I would be using would depend, of course, on what my client would be needing. So in this case, Node.js, React, it would be like, it's both for back end and front end development or engineering, yeah. So there, and more keywords, because it would really depend on the number of applications that I would be not really receiving, like number of profiles that would be coming up in my search. So yeah, so in this case, we find that more and more people would actually, or more profiles, relevant profiles would come up if and when they do have the keywords that are part of our search as a recruiter. So full stack engineer, you see the highlighted portions, full stack engineer is there. Node.js is there, React is there. And the actually more and more times that you actually put those keywords on your profile, the higher your chances are to be on top of our search. Take note though, there may be a lot of like profiles that would come up in our search. So please make sure that you optimize your LinkedIn profile. And it's not just, like adding keywords, because what if they're really not relevant to what you're doing? So find out what you really want to highlight, skill set, what you want to learn, which would be like your next relevant role. So, and then that's when you optimize. Okay. So hope this was like helpful, and it gives you like an overview of what we see as recruiters. And like, why is this LinkedIn profile the first one recruiters? This should be like the first one that I could have asked you. But the reason as to why is because, again, of like keywords, highlights, summary. Like really, the term full stack engineer is under summary, their heading, and under their experience. So like so many things. And what if it's also there on their skills, right? Skill sets, endorsements. Yeah. So what apps or software do you use to optimize profile? That would actually, I think I don't use a specific one, but I Google things like, I can go like, so how to optimize like my profile as an HR, or you could go like Google keywords for, in my case, because I'm in HR or talent acquisition. So I go like keywords for HR, and things would come up like performance management, talent acquisition, talent management, and blah, 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 blah. In your case, since you guys are aiming to be in coding or like tech roles, so you go for like tech keywords, and a lot of different things would actually come up depending on what you're looking for. But again, only include the ones that you find relevant to what you're currently doing or what you want to do. Because if you put everything on there and everyone else copy pastes it, then you're not going to stand out again. So keep on changing and see whatever works for you. Find out whatever works. You'll find out, by the way, how. Go to your LinkedIn profiles. You will see a dashboard. It's only visible to yourself. Okay, so you can check the number of views that you have on right now. And so maybe you can test things out, change a couple of things, change your keywords, add and all that. Add, remove keywords depending on what you want to highlight. And maybe a week or two or even a month later, compare the views on your profiles based on your dashboard, like a month before to the one at present, and see if it has increased. If it has, you did a good job. You're doing things right. If it's not yet enough for you, then you must probably try something out. It's a trial and error kind of thing, fortunately or unfortunately. Again, see what works for you, because not everything that works for you may work for someone else. Okay, so you got to find out, sadly, or not really sadly, you got to do a bit of work. Okay, but yeah, at least you know that it's going to be customized like based on your needs. So it's not like, okay, so what are your keywords? Let me use that too. What if you guys don't really have the same experience or don't want the same thing, right? It's not going to work. All right, and aside from that, you also have to grow your personal network, right? So actually, like, could personal branding work to showcase an employer that we're committed to the profession? YouTube channel, Insta handle that shows we're influencers in the field. I'm not sure I totally understand the question. Maybe you can clarify this, Abby?
I mean, people are like totally trying to optimize their profile and make their resumes fancy and all. I've seen people who are like, if there's a call with the HR or something, and even if you apply to an agency for in case, there are a lot of forms where you actually have to show them your Instagram profile. You actually have to have a YouTube channel. They are actually having that. It's mandatory. If it's not there, you literally can't even apply. So I was just wondering, like, even they are looking for people who are like totally into it, and they're not looking for people to I mean, grow from the. I mean, they're not looking for beginners. They're looking for people who are already into it, and how they can collaborate and take the team forward. That's what I just saw in this when I was trying to go into an agency. That's what I saw. So I was like feeling a little bit lost, and I was like thinking, okay, maybe I have to work on the background and all that.
Yeah. So if I okay. So I think if I understand it better now, correct me if I'm wrong. Like the way the people brand themselves would be like in many different ways. So that would be like LinkedIn profile, and then they can even use like many different platforms, right? So whichever they would find like more convenient for them, accessible to them, and then you're asking if it's like something that can help in an application. Is that right? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just saying that if
It's a valid question. I'm just clarifying.
no, I'm just saying that sometimes when you're having a call with the HR or something, you can just say that you can just look me up, or you can just check my profile.
Exactly. Right.
So you can actually show them instead of showing your boring profile or resume, you can just show them what projects you're actually working on, and people are very much interested on your personal projects.
That's actually a pretty good idea, especially if you're in tech or like even digital marketing, because most of the people have like portfolio, and that would actually showcase their work even more. But what if you can actually showcase a bit of your personality, a bit of your brand just through your CV or LinkedIn profile, right? So you can do it both ways, no one's stopping you. Sky is the limit, really. So it's actually an amazing suggestion and an idea. It's just that not all people take much of an effort to do it or take time to do it, because again, it takes time. All right. It takes a lot of like effort and all that. And not everyone's willing to do that, especially if they're just doing for them, if they're just applying for a job and all that. So yeah, so it's really up to you, but that's a really good way to stand out. Right. Cool. And other ways would be to grow your personal network and post via LinkedIn. Right. So, sorry, it's a bit like weird, but yeah, growing your personal network, become a thought leader in your profession, current profession, or like the field that you want to be an expert in. So like if you want to be in coding and tech, post like relevant articles, or like what have you learned today about coding, about tech, anything useful for your connections. Again, take note, you have to connect with the people who actually would find value in what you are sharing. If you're connecting with people like maybe nurses or like flight attendants, and you're posting about coding work, do you think you'd have the same kind of result if as opposed to if you connect with someone who's actually in the tech field? Probably not, right? So similar positions, again, connect with the people that you actually can build a community with or be part of a community with, and like you can relate with, you see their posts, you react to them because you actually find value in what they're posting and they find value in what you're posting. So it helps. Senior managers, best to actually connect with senior managers, even if they don't really have like a job position for you, a vacancy for you, but like, what if you can learn from them? What if you can have a discussion, and if they like you, people like people. If they like you, they get to know you, they get along with you, they can refer you, it doesn't have to be in their company, it doesn't have to be in their business, and it doesn't have to be now. What if by like next month they wouldn't know, like someone in their team would suddenly leave and they go like, hey, I remember speaking with someone I just met on LinkedIn, very interesting fella. So that would be you, right? That's like one of the one successful story, one success story that you can go with or live with, right? So it's amazing. It's not just you landing a job because you submitted your CV, just because you submitted your CV or went through a referral and all that. Okay, so that's something. Keep that in mind, and like really optimize your network. It's really, really helpful these days. I think earlier someone mentioned like through connections, referrals, really. So that's really an amazing thing that we have to make use of. Okay. So share post articles, let your network see your passion, what you're interested in, what you want to learn, what you've recently learned, certifications even. There's like a featured part under your about me section, if I'm not mistaken, or above your about me section, and then you can just put certifications, that you obtained, and then a portfolio even. I think that's also possible. And keep your picture professional. This is actually my teammate. So like comparing two photos, the one on the left is like a more professional one because it shows his face. He's wearing like a nice top. neat and all that, as opposed to the one on the right. He's like with someone and probably in a party or something. Unless that's the kind of like, profile or persona that you want people to see you as. But if it's not, then go with something more professional. It doesn't have to be like corporate and all that, because really, what would show your personality? What would scream you? All right, because you're the one who matters here. So really, find something that would actually work for you. It doesn't have to be the same as everybody else, because you're you. All right, no one else is like you. Cool. Now, best places to be searching for a role. Here are just a few. Do not limit yourselves to these ones. So we've got LinkedIn. Again, this is pretty huge in the region. It's used by recruiters like myself and also hiring managers. So a professional social networking site. GitHub Jobs. Not sure if you're familiar with these guys. Is anyone familiar with this? Or like, have you heard of this at any point in time? Or even like if someone else that you know is using? Yeah. Yeah, I think I heard someone say, I'll take that as a yes. So it's really great for technical roles. And this is where you can see like portfolio, how you can showcase your expertise and all that. Something that may not probably be seen just on your CV or LinkedIn profile. So this is the best place to go, right? Indeed is also like I think if you're familiar with like Bait, it's similar to that. So it's a search engine that aggregates from thousands of job boards, career sites, and recruiter listings. So there are a lot of job advertisements placed there. And not just that, by the way, Indeed has a lot of helpful articles that you can read and videos that you can watch that could help you in your like job hunting, or not even job hunting, like what's next for your career? How can you answer interview questions, blah, 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 and all that. So make sure that you optimize these because they're actually pretty useful. Same goes with LinkedIn. Actually, they have those helpful articles, depending on the people you connect with, of course. Right. And I mentioned this. It's not really very specialized, but it's the Middle East's biggest recruitment site. So, if you want to if you want to create an account there, then that's cool. So create an account in as many portals or like websites as you can. More chances of winning perhaps, but yeah, really, it just puts you out there. And like, what if the recruiter or the hiring manager is also present on all those platforms, and they go like, hey, this person keeps on popping up, might as well give this person a call, because they would know you're actively exploring. Yeah. So Rajiv says, don't trust Indeed one bit. Several non-existent job postings, some repeated every other week. Indeed was the site, and Abhi says Indeed was the site I was talking about that I hate. Actually, the job posting section where they don't even mention the salary or what a multi-talented player. Oh my gosh! So there. So if that's how your experience is like, no worries. These are just suggestions anyway. So you can eliminate Indeed based on your experience and try other platforms instead and see what works for you. It's again a trial and error kind of thing. Sometimes you got to put in an extra. A bit of effort, to see what works for you. So now that you know, because you've tried LinkedIn and know that it doesn't work for you, get rid of it. All right. So for Indeed, I mean, so yeah, cool. And Upskill, of course, like learning never stops. I'm like a believer of such. So remember with GitHub, so it actually provides like cheat sheets for programming languages, and it's really a great open source like community for you guys, especially if you're into sorry, who was that?
Also, Isaac, I'll just add one thing here. Just a small story from someone I know. They actually entered one of Microsoft repos, and they found a bug in one of the codes there. So it wasn't Microsoft, it was IBM. They entered their repos and they found a bug in their code, and they emailed the developer and they told them there was an issue with your code. Here's how to fix it, and that got them an interview and a job actually. So on GitHub, you can connect with people in the industry, especially in the tech field, and you can also learn from it, and you can also connect exactly with people that will help you find this job as well.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for adding that bit, Amr. So that's really helpful. Try this out, guys, in case you haven't yet, and see how it works for you. And if you have friends who actually have like an account here, ask about their experience and find out if it also works for you, because like you'll never really know. Maybe it could land you an interview, a job, or what, right? So there. And again, build a portfolio. especially for like tech roles, it won't be enough to, of course, just have like the CV or LinkedIn, although those are really important ones and it has to be consistent. So, but yeah, have a portfolio so that you can showcase your work and your brand to people, to hiring managers, not just hiring managers, you know, like you can do some freelance work even. So if it would be helpful just to put yourself out there, then cool. Demonstrate your findings on YouTube. So this would be like one of the social media platforms that you were talking about earlier. So it's actually good. You could tell HRs or hiring managers to go like, you know, I actually have a YouTube channel for this. Maybe you can visit, this is the website, blah, 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 blah. And I do appreciate that. I'm one of those recruiters who actually ask for portfolios. And like, I wanted to see what my candidate has been doing. Is it going to be good enough for like my client? And, you know, see how else we can work together. So yeah. Give clients or even like friends, family, free work, just so you can, you know, they can see what you're made of and all that, and see that, okay, so this is like free work right now, but what more if they pay you if you're doing a good job on the free work? So yeah, including family, close friends, directly approaching small business CEOs and all that. So you can do this again through LinkedIn or even attending like meetups, events, although I do know with restrictions and all that, it may not always be possible. So again, maximize the use of like, you know, what you have. So whether it be connections, network, and make use of all the skills that you have. Like, and if you're not happy with it, upskill, okay? Yeah, so do freelance projects. There are a lot of websites. Oh my gosh, Indeed is there again. But in case you guys aren't really happy with Indeed, just ignore this part. There are other options. There's Upwork, there's TopTal, and there's Freelancer, and much, much more. You don't need to limit yourselves to whatever is on here. These are suggestions, and hopefully you may find them helpful. Check them out and see how it works for you. You know, you'll never know unless you try anyway. So yeah. Okay, I'm looking at Abby's. I, being an advertiser, seriously would suggest platforms are frees of your creativity and advertise yourself as a key player. I like that. Do not try this without being ready to face the funny reactions. Yes, there may be like, you know, pros, cons, and that. So positive, negative reactions and all that. But still, you tried. You know what you can do. And if it's something that you're not comfortable with, something that you're not happy about, then that's okay. You tried. But what if you discover it's actually something that you can, you know, do moving forward? It's a strength. It's like a new skill that you just learned. What if, right? What are the odds? So yeah, cool. So now building your CV for the MENA market, of course, is quite different, especially in the region, especially on how like competitive it is in the region. I'm sure you guys have noticed. So structuring your CV, there are a lot of many ways to do that. Like, so personal profile overview, make sure that it captures a summary of like who you are, not just what you do, but who you are. Like in my case, I go like, I'm passionate about helping people, and that can translate with my work. I help people land their dream jobs and their dream companies. So put a bit of like personality in there, and people would start talking to you. People would actually enjoy speaking with you. If, you know, like, if you yourself find your CV super duper interesting, then others would. If you're bored with your own CV, then how else would others see it, right? They would view it the same way probably, or even worse. So take note. All right. Education and qualifications, especially in like if you wanted to display like certifications that you've obtained, especially if you're going to be like in the tech industry, these are important. So highlight those up. Employment experience, of course, company names, job titles, job description. Do not limit yourself to just job descriptions, because what if it's the same ones as, again, others? So best to include like contributions and achievements, right? So that's actually under, yeah. So other experiences that you may have, freelancing, projects, consultancy, include them, okay? Achievements and interests. So what else could be linked to the brand build, the, you know, how you put yourself out there and how it screams you? What else? Think about them, okay? References, anyone who can say or can put in a good word about you, add them right up, okay? Picture, okay. So when it comes to photos, I actually don't feel like it's a requirement to put them on your CVs unless you're comfortable with it, you're fine with it, it doesn't bother you, that's cool. But I personally don't think that it's a requirement. So that's fine. And sometimes I mean, unfortunately, it may even be used as a discriminating thing. So I would suggest to just remove the picture on your CV. But when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, of course, that's like social media platforms. That's okay. Put a bit of like personality in there. You even should like put banners and all that. Make it, to make yourself sound interesting even before people start talking to you, right? You already got them interested. You got them hooked. So, and lastly, number 8, keywords. I've been repeating it all night, and I hope that it really, sticks to your mind, because it's really important, especially to us recruiters whenever we do our search. And aside from that, not just from LinkedIn. So when we receive CVs, like for recruiters or different companies, it may go through, because we can't really go through everyone's CVs, unfortunately. There would be like thousands. So sometimes it goes automatically to an ATS, what we call it. It's an applicant tracking system. So once your CVs go through it, it gets scanned. And if you have the keywords that would be necessary for the role, then yes, you can probably have an interview. You have a higher chance of, being considered for the role. So keywords. Make sure again to put the right keywords there, because not everything's going to be applicable for you or your field. All right. Yeah. And the optimal CV. So I'm actually going to put like two CVs here. So the one on the left, this CV looks extremely neat. It's clear to read. As a recruiter, this is good. They've got bullet points, which makes things a bit more organized for us reading it, because we really go through those. It has the specific jobs, duties, responsibilities, and it only is like for 2 pages, as other roles were taken off, because probably they're not as relevant, or they're probably, they've probably been there for a long time now. So yeah, as opposed to the one on the right. Okay, so CV is not well polished. It has big clumps of text, and it's weird. Like it has this, I don't know, the table there. It's just weird. Yeah, I think the person tried to organize things this way, but like as a recruiter seeing it this way, it's not really like CV looking. It's more like table or Excel looking, and that's not really how a CV should look like. So yeah, and make sure that if you're gonna try to organize things, that it's actually like easy to read, and like something that would engage recruiters to, or hiring managers to, go further into your CV, all right? And not like, I'm seeing it and it stops here. So yeah, cool. Okay, I have a question here. I would like to know, what does a guy only with a high secondary qualification do? High secondary, do you mean like without university or college? Or?
Yeah, without any experience, I mean, going to college or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool, because like if you've had experience anyway, and like if you're in the tech and digital ecosystem, startups and all that, it doesn't really matter as much, because if you've got the experience for such, you've got certifications perhaps, then that would be that would be the factors that will be considered for your application. If, for example, it'll be like your first job, then you have to like probably sell yourself better, so as to make up for the fact that you haven't attended university or college. So there is something to do on that, and you don't have to worry, because even in this region, not everyone would actually be requiring like a bachelor's, depending on how like traditional or like corporate they are in the company. So yeah,
I can actually also give a live example from AstroLabs. Actually, we have the head of tech at AstroLabs actually doesn't have a university degree. He finished secondary high school, and he actually started learning on his own. And from that, he built skills. And now he's the head of tech at our company. He has more than 12 years of experience currently. So that's what I meant. It doesn't matter if you don't have if you have a CS degree or you don't. Personally, I'm a person who has a computer engineering degree, yet it didn't help me in finding a job, for example. So in tech, and the tech field, it's really, really different than any other field when it comes to degrees and university and those kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yep. Super. Thank you for that, Amr. That's actually a really, really good example. So again, do not get discouraged. If you have not like attended university or college, like let your experiences, skills, and other qualifications speak for itself. All right. And if that's something that the company isn't like up for, or like, you know, it's not something that they're into, then they're probably not the company for you. Try something else. Okay. Yeah. And next, have you seen any trends in CVs in the past 3 years? What's the kind of CV HR people love? I personally like the one here, like on the left. It's really neat. It easily tells me who you are, what you do, and like which position I can consider you for, as opposed to the one on the right. It's a bit weird, and it's really not organized. So it's not easy for me to like assess what you're really looking for. And even like look at the one on the right. The one they put in bold are the technologies used. Why not the role itself, or like the company even? I don't, yeah, so no, this is not gonna work. But yeah, go for something simple, really. Unless like, of course, for say graphic designers and other creative people, they really wanna make sure that they're like, wow, and like amazing and all that. So that's why. But in your case, if you're into tech, make it as straightforward as possible, okay? Like highlight your accomplishments, achievements, experiences, skill set in a very organized manner. And don't worry, there are a lot
One
of
small doubt.
Oh.
To the HR actually. There are, I have seen few CVs where they have graphical data.
Oh.
By graphical data, I mean
like charts.
70% in communication, 20% in this thing. I seriously don't understand what they mean by percentage.
Oh, yeah.
It's all graphical data, and I mean, what's your opinion about that? They do it because it looks good. They have a photo also, and it's all colorful. But then when you go into data, it's like Photoshop. What's your experience about Photoshop? 35%. What about illustration? 85%. But what do you mean by that?
Yeah. I do not suggest that you put like what you call it, data on your profile. Like for example, like Photoshop, like, and it's like a 5 out of 10 kind of thing. Do not do that. Just add in skills instead of putting in like how good or how not good you are in a specific skill. Just put in your skills, okay? And it would really, because that's the thing about like CVs, whether it be like the best one or what, there's really no standard one. I think it's a bit subjective and I think objective to some point. But like really what would be helpful for like hiring managers and HR people or like talent acquisition people like myself is to understand what you're doing currently and what you want, right? Based on your experience, what's next for you, even without asking you, it already answered our question. So that's why we're going to have a chat with you and find out if it can compare what we know, what we think about you. So that's why one of the first questions I asked you guys when we started was like, where you are at now and where you want to be. Because really, just by looking at your CV, we can see. So, you know, depending on how you organize things. And if you yourself, you can answer that just by looking at your CV, like, okay, you're here right now. This is you right now, but this is where you can be. Then, okay, that's a good CV. If not, there are a lot of tools or websites that you can go to. Here is one. I use resumeworded.com. What you can do there is upload either your LinkedIn profile. Yes, you can download your LinkedIn profile, by the way. You can download it as a PDF. So just go to your LinkedIn profile. There's a more button there, and you can just download your LinkedIn profile. You can upload that or your CV or both, you know, and it will give you like a ranking of your current CV or your current LinkedIn profile. And it would also show you which parts you can improve on and how you can improve on them. So it's that specific. For the premium one, I think there's like a paid one. You can go for that too, so that it's more comprehensive. But personally, what worked for me was like the non-premium one. So it really depends on you. Check it out. If it works for you, then great. If not, you could try other websites. This is just one. So yeah, but there. So that's it. That's about it. I'm sorry, like we went over time, but I hope that was really helpful for you guys. And if you got like questions, feedback, please feel free to like reach out.
Thank you so much, Aris. Thank you so much, guys. If you noticed, like Aris took all the energy from me and she put it in her. She has all the energy. She took actually the energy of the whole of AstroLabs.
Combined.
Yeah, so thank you so much for this, Aris. Actually, on the chat now, I put our accounts, mine and Aris, LinkedIn profile, and also put my email. Guys, feel free to reach out for us. Feel free to connect with us. We'd love to get to know you more. If you have any questions, I'm sorry we went a bit over time, but I hope you enjoyed the session. Sorry. Thank you again. If you have any question for us now, let us know. If not, you can connect with us, and hopefully we'll discuss again in the future.
Yay! Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.
Thank you all. Thank you. Good evening.